Hey, I'm Haley.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're listening to Personality Hire,
the podcast where I did a deep dive into my horoscope this weekend.
Oh, gosh.
Saturday night, I stayed up late and I did this woman. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Let me run it back. I have to highly recommend this to you. I highly recommend this to everyone. There's this woman. She is a horoscopist. She is a
horoscopist.
Her whole shebang, her whole career is she does horoscopes and she helps people outline their star charts and understand their birthrights. Like, she's, in my opinion, she's incredible. Her name is Nadine Jane. And
Nadine's a great name if you're going to be a horoscopist.
She's super popular. She's got books and she's just very cool. I've even bought my sister one year for her birthday a one-on-one birth chart reading with her.
I love that.
So she this weekend published every rising sign. She did a video series for every single sign for 2025 where she reads each sign. So I was feeling froggy.
So this is on YouTube.
No, it's on her website.
Okay.
Yeah.
She goes straight to the site.
She's so popular. She's popular.
That says a lot.
I highly recommend you do this. They're on sale right now. So maybe I'll do a shop my link.
Maybe we get a promo code.
Maybe I'll do a shop my link.
A personality hire star chart.
Yeah. But on Saturday night, I didn't have anything going on and I did mine. I'm Taurus rising and I was sobbing because it was so powerful. It was so powerful. It aligned so much with the things that I'm trying to work on, with my goals. Also, I wanted to tell you this.
Yeah.
In order to be able to do that, I needed to remind myself of the time that I was born and I forgot. So I went to my little special place where I file away my documents. I found my birth certificate and I am also my moon sign. No, my second placement, whatever it is. I'm also a Leo. Is my second. That's your second house. That's whatever house whatever house that you feel like you identify with most of your outward facing persona. I'm Leo, and I thought that was interesting because you're Leo rising.
Yes, I'm Leo rising, but I've heard that your second placement apparently is like how you feel outwardly, but I feel more Leo than I do anything.
I feel more Taurus, but I also did see that I have a lot of Leo tendencies in terms of the way that I present to the world. So I thought that was interesting.
For sure.
All this to say, here's the top of the pops that I wanted to tell you that I thought you would think was interesting.
I'm excited. Get in here.
Had to get my birth certificate. Okay. Yes. To see what time I was born. 2:06 p.m. Huntsville, Alabama, April 22nd, 19.
They spelled your name wrong.
No.
I'm kidding. I was just waiting for some drama.
They showed at the top of the birth certificate the date that my birth certificate was issued because it's not like automatically issued. You have to wait. Scooby-Doo's came a little later, whatever. It is Matt's birthday is the day that my birth certificate was issued. My husband's birthday is the date that my birth certificate was issued. He's 1 year older than me. And at the top of it, it was his birthday.
But the next year.
But my birth year, obviously.
Yes.
But isn't that wild?
I know that's kind of creepy. No, that's
I got the heebie-jeebies. And sometimes, honestly, I need a little bit of a, reassurance that I've done the right thing with this man. Sometimes
Scooby's not enough.
Sometimes I just need a little reassurance that the choice that I made was the right one.
I get it. I get that.
I'm just kidding. I love him.
I get that in life though.
We've established that we like to be a little mean to each other.
Yeah.
But isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
I just felt like I needed to tell you that.
No, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting that at all, and I would have never guessed that.
I really want you to do your video series with Nadine Jane.
Okay.
Astrology.
I'll do it.
An astrologer is what she is. God
yes,
bless
not a
America.
Horoscopist.
Not a horoscopist. Hello?
Well, that's why I was giggling which I couldn't, astrologist wasn't coming up at the top of my brain, obviously. Ugh. But when you said she's a horoscopist. Horoscopist.
That's not right.
That's hilarious. Astrologist.
Tell me to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell me to get a grip. That was crazy.
That was nuts. But it's funny because I would have never corrected you.
I really want you to do that.
I'll do it.
I really want you to.
Okay, I'll do it tonight.
I had tears of joy. I had tears of pain. I had tears of sorrow. I had tears of grief. I had tears of a new dawn. It was great. How are
I'm
you?
scared. How are you?
How are you, Harsh?
How are you going? I'm good. It's earlier than we're used to. I do have a fun thing to say right now. Happy birthday, Groot. Today is Groot's birthday, but we're filming on a different day than our podcast is released, obviously. So
is today his actual birthday or
today
when this is released? Okay.
Today is.
Happy birthday, Groot.
Yes, it's Groot's birthday week. And it's
That's
a big
right.
birthday. So I just wanted to shout that out on the pod. He's one of our number one listeners.
Should I sing or not yet? Maybe later.
I think we sent him a voice memo. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah.
Happy.
Yeah.
Can you meet me down here?
Lo, mommy made me miss my M&Ms. Wah, wah.
Oh, but you can take the theater kid out of the theater class, but you can't take the class out of the theater kid.
Yeah. Scoop it up.
Okay, so
but that's about it.
Read
That's all I have that's new. I did pull a Jessie Saturday.
you threw it in a circle.
I did actually, but I tripped over a curb.
Oh no!
Top of the night.
You did?
Top of the night.
Did you injure yourself?
Oh, I have a skin knee like a child.
Tell the class how it really happened. What happened? What went down?
I was just not paying attention. I was strutting, and I was wearing stiletto heeled boots and tights.
Yeah.
By the way, these tights though, my skin ripped. These tights did not. And I was able to have a full night with pristine tights, even though my knee was in pain.
Do you want to say what the brand is?
I don't know what it's called. I will again shop my right.
I shop mine. Yeah, also,
you can shop mine.
So today we are in Studio Lay Bryce, producer Bryce, but producer Bryce is not here today. I mean, he's here.
We broke in.
But we broke in. But he's just not here with us today. And so, first of all, it feels a little bit, obviously, feels a little bit like we're being unsupervised and doing something kind of
naughty,
crazy. And then also he entrusted us to actually get all the equipment going. And he specifically asked me, Jessie, please text me before you begin.
Oh, and we didn't.
And the other thing that he asked me to do that we did not do is clap at the beginning of this.
We did though.
We did?
No, we didn't. But we did do some testing. We said test.
But is it going to be bad? Should I call him live action? Or should I text him right now and ask him if that's okay? Let me text him.
Yeah, I think the clap was just so he could see where to start.
Well, he said so he could sync it. I'm going to say, be smooth.
We didn't clap that thing.
We didn't clap that thing. That thing. And then let's see what he says. Because honestly, I don't want to start over.
I don't either.
But we'll see what he says.
But if we have to.
He specifically said, hey, Jess, can you please text me and let me know when you begin? And also, more importantly, please clap. You and Haley need to clap so you can sync the audio.
Oh, well, shoot. Hopefully. It's fine.
We'll see what he says. I texted him.
Also, Be Smooth calls you Jess.
He does call me Jess. He does call me Jess.
You just said, hey, Jess. And he does call her Jess.
He calls me Jess.
Notoriously Jess.
I think I can see that I'm a Jess. I'm definitely a Jessie. I'm definitely a Jessie. You look at me, you look at this face, and you're like, that's a Jessie.
Yeah.
But to some people who see the real me probably on the inside, the scary parts, they call me Jess.
Because they're scared of her.
That house bunny vibe,
Jess.
Yeah.
Jessica. Natalie. Eugene. Nadine Jane.
I love it.
Horoscopist at large.
Horoscopist on her website, but not on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok.
Also, did you watch the Askis last night?
I did not watch the Askis. You know why?
Why?
I did look at what everybody wore just to see. Here's the thing about, and I don't know, my fellow actors might be mad at me for this, but I think award season is for the fashion. I'm sorry I said it. Because here's the thing. We all know it's fake. It's political.
Yeah.
So it's not that exciting for me because I'm like, whatever. Like, I mean, like, it's fun to watch, I guess, like, if you got nothing to do. I'm very proud of Honora.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I don't know as much about it as you do, obviously. But of course, it's about the fashion, which I love it. I think there were a lot of really beautiful gowns this year.
Yeah.
But I do think in some ways
And I love the red carpet interviews.
Yeah.
Shout out to our boy, Jerry O'Connell.
Also, I want
He looked
to
great.
do that one day. Like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I see.
You are so going to do that.
Let's do that. Like, let's get me on a carpet.
Let's do it.
Let me throw it in a circle on a red carpet.
Yeah.
Let me talk to the people. But
well, then how am I going to take you as my date if you're interviewing?
Well, we're already going to be nominated for a short film that we produced about Romy and Michelle's elderly funeral home reunion instead of a high school reunion.
Right.
But but like I'll just do both. It'll be
Okay,
fine.
she'll just do both.
But I feel like, to your point about them being political, they totally are, and I get that. But
so it's just they're not as exciting is all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not fun.
But I wanted to go back to what you said, though. I do think that Mikey Madison, who won for Honora, like that is cool.
It is very cool.
It's like her breakout role. That's her first nomination and her first Oscar. Like that kind of thing is cool. But I do feel like, to your point about the political thing, the one backlash I saw about that was people were like, this is like substance in real life. The youth gets the up and coming glittery younger woman gets the award, and Demi Moore, who was nominated for the substance,
which she was awesome,
and she's never won an Oscar. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is. It's so wild. Also, like, I don't know, the industry is just so weird. I think you just have to, I don't know, because I was thinking about that a lot, and I was thinking, you know what, Demi Moore has never won one. She's been putting in all this work for all these years, but she has had this for all these years, and I think that in itself, her being relevant for this long and staying in it and like kind of dipping into the private, like when she needs to, like she has already won. Like in my mind, what a successful, like long career, and it's still going, and I don't think she's going to stop. And I think like her and Pam Anderson, and I mean, because they're more commercially viewed, I'm not saying like Meryl Streep, hello, but like I'm saying, and a million other people, I'm not even going to read you a list, but with people who were just these like hot, sexy young things, like commercial wise, and now they're showing that they actually like, no, look, I have chops and I can play this really like amazing role, like very meaty, good, gritty role at any age. I think that is doing more for the industry than anything. Like I love seeing Demi Moore, Pam Anderson, these people who were just poster women essentially at one point. Like you were just like commercial popcorn movies. Demi Moore says it best. She was popcorn movies, like box office, like nah, like not actual art, but is it art? And I think she is proving now that she's just getting started on this new edge of her career if she wants it. And I'm excited about that. So I will say, you're right. I think that it is kind of that thing where there's this like flashy of like the young thing. Do you remember when Anna Taylor-Joy was like everything the other year? My friend Maddie says this. She's like, there's a silver screen darling every few years, and we just like become obsessed, and they're everywhere. Like Mikey Madison is about to be everywhere, as she should. She's awesome. However, they kind of do these dips, and some of them never come back out. Like you never see them again. And I'm trying to think of Anya Taylor-Joy is not someone who's an example of that, and I'm lost at who that is. But I think Demi Moore still won. I know she didn't physically, technically win, but she looked great.
I like what you just said though at the beginning of your explanation. No, your explanation of why you're saying. I like what you just said, because you said in the grand scheme of her career, she's already won that. Yeah. And I think that for a lot of people though, it is nice to be recognized, especially when it comes from something that's more peer based. Yeah. You know, I think that it's nice to be recognized. However,
but I think being nominated is a win. Also, do you know that they like get like 4 vacations, home renovations, like all this stuff? Like when you're nominated, you get
perks. Yes. You get things.
So like they won.
But I do think though that's even helpful to think about and take through to other areas of everyone's life,
Yeah.
even if it's not Hollywood based, is that it's nice to be recognized, but sometimes you have to look at the overall like pot, the overall things that you already have going for yourself to know that you've already won.
No, yeah,
And
look at
that's
the ripple, like
It's
look at the
difficult
waves that
sometimes.
you're making.
It's hard to do that sometimes when
is.
you look and you see that you feel that you're accomplished, you feel that you're successful, but maybe that recognition is what you think you're missing. And for some people, I know that can be hard. It can be hard for me sometimes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even mean, I don't even mean you need an award. I just mean sometimes it's even nice to have somebody outside of your field or outside of your like direct circle to tell you that you're winning, and winning is whatever. But sometimes that is really all you need to keep going, or to keep pushing, or to keep it just from exploding inside of you to be like, what am I doing in my life?
Yeah.
So I hope that she feels that way today. I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
I'm sure she does. And I think too, the Substance was such a cool movie that even if she didn't win something for it, there really hasn't been anything quite like that.
No.
That's done. And it was like on this genre of like drama and horror. Horror.
Horror.
So that was cool.
I love. And also my stepmother, Kat Barnes, will love to hear that shout out for Substance, because that's her favorite movie ever. She's obsessed. But I just like, yeah, I think it's important to have that bird's eye view, especially as a woman in any industry, but in Hollywood, to say, oh, look at what I'm doing. I'm at this age where they said I could never do it. I thought I hit this point where I was done with Hollywood. Like both her and Pam Anderson. I know there are other women that I could use as examples, but those two are top of mind because of this past year. But to see that, like, they're just getting started in this new area of their career. One thing that Pam Anderson said was, she was talking about Jamie Lee Curtis on like the first day of filming, and she said that Jamie Lee Curtis was like, I'm so honored to be here with you, blah, blah. And she was like, wait, do I know? All of a sudden she had this imposter syndrome. Pamela Anderson, she had this imposter syndrome, and she was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Do I know how to act? What is acting? Am I okay? And she had a coach, and she did all these, like, she like reinvigorated her love for the craft of acting and like creating entertainment, because it's also important to remember that, especially when award season is happening and actors feel less than because their commercial thing's not being taken as seriously, or their really art house type thing is not being as taken seriously. It's important to remember that even soap operas are art. And like it helps someone escape their day.
Yeah.
The bad parts. And so every little thing you do it's worth it.
Entertainment is art. I think
right.
I think too that sometimes Haley and I talk about this podcast specifically too, and we try to explain it to people, or we give people a synopsis of what this is about. Sometimes it's difficult because I want to tell them that this is a comedy-based podcast. I want to tell them this is about our friendship. I want to tell them this is about escapism for other people to kind of lean into anything that might make them laugh. But I also deeply feel that things like this are also art, in the sense of where it's like, it's important because it might be meaningful to someone to have that opportunity to like escape for a minute while they're listening, or to feel like they've got two friends on the other side of like the microphone, whoever, you know, whatever, you and I maybe in this instance. And I think that anything can really be considered art.
No, it can.
I like to think of everything that way because it makes things meaningful, but also we're not taking ourselves too seriously. This is meaningful.
No, and it's ever evolving. Like we don't even know what it is.
But art doesn't have to be serious, is all I'm trying to say. Like art can be a soap opera. Art can be two silly willies sitting on a couch talking to you. Art can be Picasso. It can run,
I like it.
It can run
Picasso.
I like it, Picasso. It can run the entire spectrum. And so I just like to think of entertainment as a whole.
Yeah.
In that way.
No, it's really important. When I have auditions for certain things, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this because this isn't what I want to, like, no one's going to take me seriously if I do this or whatever. And then I have to remember, oh, no. This was written for a purpose. Someone wrote this because they felt like it needed to be made. Someone's putting money behind this, so it's going to be made. So how do I lean in, and how do I say, okay, for today, this is my art that I'm going to help contribute to, whatever that looks like, and not judging it too much, because then when you judge it, you take the art out of it. When you have the ego in it, not the judgment, you can judge art, but the ego in it. You have to like fully remove self and just be in it. And that's the hardest thing to do. And I think that Demi Moore is a great example of someone who said, listen, people are already going to talk about me. Let's see if we can change the subject a little bit. And I think that's phenomenal. And I'm really excited. And going back to what Pamela Anderson was saying, is she was like, oh no, now that I've done Showgirls, like or The Last Showgirl, I'm going to continue to pursue this art. I thought I was done. I'd moved to Canada, renovating my grandparents' old farmhouse. I don't even know if you've ever seen that show. It's like Pamela Anderson's Garden. Have you seen it?
No.
It was on, I want to say Amazon Prime or maybe Hulu. Don't know. It's on Hulu. You should watch it. It was her a few years back. And it was just like kind of a reality show of her renovating the house and showing how she's become like a grower and like how her life has totally changed. She went from this like rock star life to a very calm life. And I think this show came out either before or right after the Pam and Tommy show, which she did not want to be a part of, which again is another part of Hollywood, or just anything in life. We could take it to life where you can't control how people view you, and you can almost do everything you can to stop them from speaking about you or perceiving you a certain way. But all you can do is manage how you respond. And I felt like she handled that with such class, because she didn't want it to be made. She didn't want to be interviewed about it. She didn't want it. And then she took the opportunity that someone offered her the script. I don't know how that was offered, by the way, The Last Showgirl, but she could have said, no, I want to stay out of the spotlight. I've been drawn away from that life. I've been at peace. I don't want this drama. Instead, she was like, no, I'm worth it. I want to do art, and let's just see what happens. Mm-hmm. And she has said that she's going to continue to act. And that makes me so happy. Especially as a female, that's really what it does for me as a woman. And it doesn't, whether I'm an actor or not, that's not important. It helps me because I'm an actor, and I'm like, oh, look how long my career can be. And also hello, Viola Davis. If you've never read her book, I read it once a year to keep me from quitting acting, because she reminds me no, I'm doing this because I was fully meant to do it. So whether or not I'm being recognized in a certain way for it or not, right now is not important, because it's part of my purpose.
Part of your art.
It's part of my art, my Ferdy art. And I think that's what Demi Moore, that's what she won at this year's Oscars and this year's awards season is one. She looked good as heck. Her dress, everything she wore, 5 stars.
Halle Berry also looked insane. Halle Berry had on basically a disco ball dress.
Halle Berry is a queen of this earth. Literally, anytime that I think of her, I'm just amazed by her. She always looks good.
She looked beautiful. She literally stepped out and I said, this is what I envision I wear in heaven.
Yes.
When I go to heaven, I envision
I'm wearing a disco ball.
Getting blasted up into the clouds in a disco ball.
She's a goddess.
That's what I'd like to happen.
But that's what I think is really cool that she won. And I think that even people who, I'm trying to think of some of the other standouts for me as far as moving the needle forward for the industry. I just think that anyone who continues to show up moves the needle for me, especially if you're a woman, because it is so hard. And Demi Moore, how many kids does she have? 4 or 3? She has 3 girls.
Yeah, I don't know. I
believe she has 3 girls. So I just think of her being a mother, and I realize she has money, so she has had help. But she really took away a step back to take care of her kids and to raise them. So it's just, I think that's so cool as a woman to observe.
My only last thought on the Oscars was that I truly probably would have not tuned in. I'm not a Oscar watcher. The reason why I did is because I am, in fact, Conan O'Brien's biggest hype girl.
I love Conan O'Brien.
I think that he helped make me understand what funny could be when I was young, in terms of his late night show, his writing. I love him, and I thought he did a great job.
I heard he was amazing.
It's a really
I
difficult
watched clips.
job.
Again, Haley watched the clips. And I will watch the Oscars tonight.
Being a host of the Oscars, though, is a really difficult job.
Oh my gosh, being a host of any award show.
It's a super difficult job because you have to ride the line between being funny and being true to your authentic humor, but you also have to play to the room in a way that you understand that you are among a lot of egos. And I think that especially since the Chris Rock incident, hosting big award ceremonies has really changed. I think that the way that people approach them has changed. I think that the way that people I think the way that people approach comedy at award shows has really changed. And I thought he did a really good job with also incorporating his own love for like sketch comedy.
Yes.
He did some really funny sketch type things. He did a musical number, all these things that I feel like he was bringing it back to kind of like OG funny time award show vibes. I thought he did a great job. Also, his makeup looked amazing. And
we can't always say that about Conan O'Brien.
No, and they blew him out. He had the best lighting. The man looked great. And his legs are about 14 years long.
They are.
He looks great. And so that to me was the highlight. You go, Conan O'Brien. You go, Team Coco.
We're proud of you.
We're so proud of you. Not that you needed me to be, but I am really proud of him. I do love him.
It is really hard, especially I would imagine for like, I'm so sorry, but like actually I can't stop thinking about Nikki Glazer. So watching a late night host go back into that place, I think would be incredibly intimidating. And he did that thing. He did it. And I would say we were a little fatigued by the Jimmys hosting for a while, and I just remember the year someone was laid out on the ground like acting deceased, and that was Jimmy Kimmel, and I just remember being like, oh no, we're done here. Like, we don't need to do this anymore. I will say that
Jimmy Kimmel is not my cup of tea in terms of like comedy. He's not my cup of tea in terms of his energy level. I've never found a connection with him as a performer.
Yeah.
Or as an interviewer.
He doesn't feel like a comic to me at all.
He doesn't feel like an interviewer.
Conan O'Brien is a comic, and he's a great interviewer.
I think Jimmy Fallon is a better interviewer in terms of like comic. His connection with people. But I loved Coco.
Proud of you, Coco.
He did great.
You go, Coco.
Great. You did not finish this story of your bloody knee.
Oh well, it was literally, I was walking with my friend Kat. I looked kind of back and then I tripped. She wasn't looking. So I fell by my lonesome, and it was real quick. It was just like a knee. It was like this knee didn't touch the ground. So like I was in a skirt though, but it was a skirt. So there's shorts underneath it. So I wasn't so worried about flashing, but I was worried that people would think that I was flashing them. So I tried to do it in a ladylike way. So I did like this light trip, and my ankle kind of gave out on the left side. So then my right knee dipped to the ground real hard. I took a knee, I Tim Tebowed it, and I got right back up, and I was like, and I just, because I was more worried about me having, this is the beginning of the night, we just left dinner. I'm like, am I going to have a hole in my tights all night? Like, am I going to be dramatic and say, let's go home? Or am I going to have to take these off? Heaven forbid I haven't shaved my legs. And no, the tights were fine. And then someone yelled to Kat, they go, your friend fell. Like,
your friend
fell. And I'm like, stop it. She was going to find out. I was going to tell her. Gosh.
I was going to tell her.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's also, I just feel like that's just something.
I was like, I can't wait to tell Jesse.
I just feel like I fall all the time. And when I do, and I've gotten so much better about catching myself. I think that I, sometimes I've been tall my whole life. Like I started out tall. I've been tall since I was born.
You're a long baby. What I'm saying?
Yeah. Like
tall toddler.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've just been a tall person. And so I think that I never quite got the grasp of my limbs. And now for all purposes, I'm a pretty average height woman. I'm 5'8", and I know that that's not,
that's on the taller side.
But I just think that I never got. I never
which is crazy because you were a dancer.
My body
in Charlotta.
I fell all the time when I danced.
See, that's crazy to me.
I would fall all the time. I'd fall leaping. I'd fall jumping. When I was a dancer at Georgia State University dance team, I was the founding member of the Georgia State University Pantherettes. Yes, I was. I absolutely was.
That thing.
And I will show you. I'll show
Let's
you a picture.
go, women in STEM.
I will show you a picture. I was a founding member.
She was a founding member as well.
I would fall all the time. I fell lots and lots and lots.
Which is crazy. Like, it's just crazy to me to like put those together. And also when you watch, Jessie is not an awkward person. Like when she moves, you know how you can tell if someone falls a lot? Like if you look at them and they're kind of like talking and they're like you would almost assume I fall a lot because of the way I flail. But Jessie is a graceful person. When she walks, it looks as if you could put a book on the top of her head and she could keep it steady. She looks very graceful. And then all of a sudden you hear about her fall. I've never actually seen, I have seen you fall.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have. I haven't seen the big ones.
You know what?
Like the belt line last year.
Yeah, Haley, we know.
Sorry,
we
that one I think about a lot because I'm like,
you weren't even there.
I know, but I think about how it must have looked because I'm just shocked. Because at your injuries, I was like, how'd she do that? But my knee is like, it looks like a child's knee. I haven't seen my knee look like that since I was a young bit. And I looked down and I was like, oh my God, I'm a child.
You know what I was
when
reminded
I took my tights off
of this weekend? I was reminded of, also, first of all, Bryce pointed out to Haley and I recently that he cannot think of another podcast that speaks directly to the audience in the camera quite like we do. And I just wanted to say that made me laugh so hard because we do, but it's like we're trying to include you in the conversation.
Yeah, because it's FaceTime.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be FaceTime. Also, Bourbon Junkies does. But I only know about that because my dad, that's his only other podcast he listens to, Personality Hire and Bourbon Junkies.
Well, I just feel like
so
it's
shout
so
out
funny
to them.
because we're
if you
really
ever want to collab.
We're really trying to like be like, there's
we're talking
there's
to our
three
girls
of us in this room.
and to our boys.
But for this, I'm going to look at you.
Yeah.
I was reminded of this weekend. Do you remember the Barbizon modeling agency where it was like a full scam where they would come to you in the mall and pretend like they were scouting you at the mall. And they were like, I'm a modeling agent for Barbizon. And then they would make you come to the office and then you'd have to basically throw down
$5,000 for like a package of classes
to be signed. Oh. Well, no, they were signing you. They were going to get you in a magazine. You were going to be in Alloy. You were going to be in
Delia's, yeah.
But you had to pay them.
Okay.
Scam.
No, that's crazy. That would have never happened to me because we would have known it was a scam the second they walked up to me. I was famously very awkward for a very long time. We can show pictures in this week's dump. It was unfortunate. My parents talk about it often.
You were not. You weren't. You were just very comfortable with yourself and being silly.
I was horrid looking. It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
Weren't.
We got out of it. I learned how to do things. And I just grew out of it, but it was a long, awkward stage. No, but I do remember, I don't remember Barbizon. It was called Barbizon. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a Barbenheimer. Like that's what it's giving.
Let me double check, but yeah, it was Barbizon.
No, I remember John Roberts Powers, which was an acting. I've always wanted to be an actor.
Oh,
and,
that's yeah.
And
yeah.
I got a headshot done at JCPenney. Mm-hmm, I'll have my mom send me a picture of that so I can show y'all my first headshot. Braces galore. And I went and auditioned, and they were like, "Wow, this girl's got talent." And you know what? They were right. I'm not gonna.
You know what?
I'm always supposed to be that.
They were right.
I'm always that girl. So
also,
but they said to sign me, I would have to they'd sign you for free, but then you have to take the modeling classes or the acting classes, the ones that they provide, which is a scam. Mm-hmm. And my parents were like, no, Haley. And we didn't know that until after we were offered my contract, obviously. So, both my parents were like, no. And I was devastated. I said, you guys are ruining my life.
That's what happened when my parents said I couldn't take voice lessons. And I was also devastated because we all know that my parents gave me every opportunity in the world, but I was meant to be a pop star. I was absolutely, core meant to be a baby pop star. Yeah. And I said, I need to take these lessons. And you know what they said? They said no. But then my dad convinced my mom to let me because I was in a girl group in middle and high school.
Famously drank Frappuccinos on your way to a voice lesson.
To a voice lesson. Because if you're going to go to help, your vocals, you need to coat your throat with milk. Also, so our dad isn't here, producer Bryce, but the camera started blinking red. Oh. So I'm going to turn mine off really quick. And you know you're going to keep the yap going. Okay. So hold on. Enjoy this uninterrupted, undivided attention with Haley Grace. Bye-bye.
Yes. I will continue the stories about John Roberts Powers. I was devastated. I was hurt. And now I know as an adult that's a scam. if anyone tries to sign you or your children and they also say you have to take this acting class.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we are no longer recording.
Oh, great.
On the video.
Well, that's not good.
Okay, I don't think we're recording on video anymore, but you know,
Can you text?
I'm gonna text Be Smooth right now.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell him. Hi, Bryce.
Hi, Bryce.
The camera says media full, and I'm not a genius, but I feel like that might be we're not recording on.
I have a feeling
that's okay though.
What that
you know
means.
what? I'm pretty sure we're still recording on this thing, which I hope we are. I mean, it looks like we are.
A girl, we don't be knowing. That's the thing. I will say that I thought that my parents ruined my life, and they both told me I would have to go to college if I wanted to pursue acting, and I did. And then I changed my minor on the day of like when we went to go preview stuff. Changed my minor to theater, and then I ended up changing it to my second major. Going into my junior year. Interesting. So I really showed them.
You did show them.
I said, guys, I'm not kidding.
I'm going to be an actor one way or another.
I'm going to be in the theater.
I'm going
to be a star, mommy.
I'm going to be a star.
Mommy, daddy.
I remember
don't hold me back.
When I was younger and I would be
Baby, I'm a star.
I would be singing, and my mom.
I'm still looking at the camera.
My party trick would be my mom, and I remember this so vividly. My mom would say, "Sing in your big girl voice," and that meant she wanted me to like do this guttural, where I would sing, "Oh, say can you see?" as a little girl, but I would do it like I was Celine Dion.
Wait, I love
or
that.
something. But she would.
I wish we had
people,
videos of that.
She would tell people like when we were out in a boot, and she was trying to like get them to laugh. She'd be like, "Jesse, sing in your big girl voice," and I was like.
You know we're gonna be doing that to Scooby.
Hit it like this. Like I would do like a hole hole hole.
You know I can so see that too, and also I can't wait to do that to Scooby. Say sing in your big girl.
Oh, she does.
Because she does.
She already does. And
Okay, can you send me a video later?
She can sing really well. If she wants to take singing lessons, I'm going to put her in there.
No, she's a talented girl.
Shake it, girl.
Also, I need to see Scooby ASAP. I'm having withdrawals.
She's grown now. You know.
No, I know. Every time I see her, she is like 10 feet taller. She looks like a girl.
She made Matt cry on Saturday because she was pretending, and she packed this bag in her room and then came out with a hat on. She said, "I'm going to college." Hat on and a bag packed, and came over to her dad, who was sitting in a chair, and she hugs him. She said, "Dad, I gotta go. I'm moving." And he was like, "Where?" And she's like, I'm going to New York City to learn how to play piano." And then she gave him a big hug. She said, "I'll miss you." The man started to cry. I came downstairs. I said, "Why are you weeping?" And he said, "Because she's moving to New York City
to learn how to play the piano."
And so I tried to flip it and reverse it because I wanted to look like the better parent. And I said, "I'm so proud of you. You have to spread your wings and fly."
You said wide open space.
I said, "I'm so proud of you, honey. I will never hold you back like your father will." I said, "You go, you run."
You said Pink Pony Club.
Yes. You run towards
out
the pony.
in West Hollywood. Go.
Exactly. I said,
"Oh my gosh, no!" I would cry too. I cry anytime, like Scooby talks about being a human, like not a baby. I get teary eyed and weepy because I'm like, oh no. You are going to grow up.
She will.
But I love it too, because every time I have a new conversation with her, I'm like, oh, this relationship's just getting better and better. She's so much fun.
Just for the record, Bryce said we are still audio recording.
Okay, good. How can he test that? How does he know?
I said, it's poke.
It's poke.
I said, it's poke.
It's poke. It's Pokeball. That's amazing. Well, so half of our YouTube video is going to be our fotches, and the other half of our YouTube is just going to be
singing our big girl voices.
Hole, hole, hole.
Hole, hole. Oh, I wanted to tell you something else. I'm writing a bit because when Haley and so I know we keep saying this. I don't want to hear it. We're working on it and it's going to happen, but we're writing our live show.
Yes.
So part of our live show will be Haley and I doing some stand up.
Right.
And so
naturally
I've been writing a few new bits, and I got some inspiration for a new bit that I haven't worked it out yet. But I was walking on the park. I was walking by the park by my house, and this woman passes me, and she's on the phone. Like I see her from a distance. She's been on the phone for a long time. She's kind of like nodding her head, and like we finally pass each other. And as we're passing one another, she says to the person on the phone, "Well, you better let me go because I've got some stuff to do," instead of let you go. She tells the person, "You better let me go." And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush.
I've heard people say that before.
You got to let me go.
You better let me go.
You got to shut your trap and you got to hang up the phone. Says that. You got to let me go.
He'll say, he'll say, he doesn't say, you better let me go. He says, okay, you got to let me get off the phone. And it's like, I wasn't holding you hostage, brother. You called me.
It's assertive.
I always get so offended. I'm like, listen, walk that back. You called me. And you kept asking me questions. Exactly. I had no questions for you.
And that's the first time I've heard anybody say that in the wild. I've never heard
you better let me
say,
go.
You better let me go.
I've heard it. I've heard it. And I think it's so interesting. And it says like, I've only heard Southern people say it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was someone really taking their power back.
Absolutely.
And saying, I've been on this phone yapping with you for way too long. And I didn't even care to yap in the first place.
And here we are.
And you better let me go. Like literally unhand me.
You know what?
Release me.
Honestly, I need to learn how to say that because one thing that I've noticed over the last few weeks, months, years, and you have helped me realize this, but I take on a little bit too much in my personal life as far as like, for example, last night, my friend Kat, her daughter was trying to FaceTime me at like 9:30 and I was finally watching this week's episode of Severance. And I felt really bad because she said she needed to tell me something. And so like, and you know, she's 10. So she like,
no, it's like, it's important.
So it's important, but I felt so bad, but I had to hold my boundaries because I was so tired. I was about to drink my sleepy time tea and I needed to watch this episode of Severance.
Obviously.
And like, I was finally getting to watch it and it's all I think about all week. And I had to wait until it comes out on Friday and I wasn't able to watch it until Sunday. So I had to hold that boundary up and I felt like such a butthead, literally closing my eyes at night going like, you're the worst Aunt Haley in the world.
No.
But
also her daughter gets it. She's old enough to where she understands.
Yeah. And I'm going to call her tonight.
You're there for her all the time.
Yes, I'm going to call her tonight.
Also, Kat is such a good friend. She understands too.
No. No one was mad. It was in my head. And so like I've realized that I need to start saying to people boundaries because some of my friends aren't used to that. I have one friend who's like, what are you doing this afternoon? Like, and it's not out of, she's not being rude or mean. I'm not saying that, but she's like, what are you doing this afternoon? I have a tape. And then I'll say like, oh, I'm here until this time. And then I have this. And she goes, oh, but I miss you, as if I could change their circumstances. And that makes me anxious. And I've got to say something. That's not her fault. It's my fault. She shouldn't word it that way, but like, guess what? It's still, I'm a grown adult. Like I need to say, it is what it is, kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need to like, just.
I think you're giving them a lot of grace for the way they're putting it. But I do think sometimes people understand that their words, the way they say them, they're going to elicit a certain response from people. Yes. And I think they're, you know.
But me growing up, I need to stop trying to take care of everyone and like
you do.
I need to like emotionally because I can't take care of people in a lot of ways, but one way I'm good at being there for people is being there for people. And so like I will go out of my way to make someone else feel comfortable, even if it means making me tired and like overworked.
I think another thing too for you is that you are a physically show up type of person. I'm not even talking about I'm there for you. You can call me night or day. I'm going to give you my attention.
Yeah.
You are like, I will be there. I will be in front of you. I will be there with my bells on.
Yes.
And that is also another level of energy to be there physically for someone.
Yes. Even going to everyone's show. Yes. Yeah. I've been better about like not feeling the pressure to go to everyone's shows. But like, here's the thing. I always treat others the way I would like to be shown up for and treated. So, and not that I need everybody to come up to me physically. I mean like, oh, like when we have our live show, I will remember, and this is maybe this toxic, but I will remember everyone who shows up. Like I remember everyone who shows up to all my plays, to every stand-up show, I remember that stuff.
Of course. So it's meaningful.
Yeah. And so I know what that means for me. So that's why I want to be there for other people in that way. Of
course.
But you just can't do it for every single person all the time. Because I would be going to a show every night of the week, and low key, theater is expensive. So
not even low key. Hi, Key.
Hi, Key.
Everything's expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Hola. I do not have a singing voice, famously, and I do need to get voice lessons. I need
I'll
to
do
know
it
how to
with
carry
you.
it. I will do it.
No,
I
Haley,
have two people I'm looking at.
Can we do doubles?
Yes, we can go do doubles, and then we can have a singing bit
And
in
then
our
we can
live
harmonize.
show. Can you meet me down here?
I can meet you anywhere.
Demi Moore, Pamela Anderson, meet me down here.
can meet you anywhere.
Mikey Madison, meet me up here.
Can you meet me down here, up here, down there?
I love it.
Okay, well,
Well, what time are we at? I don't think-
I think,
no, we're not there yet.
well, we are.
We are, okay.
I gotta be.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I got to.
I got to go.
Be right now. I know this has been a little bit of a chaotic one, but I feel like we still got some really good information on
We did. Also, we have to say, did you catch up on Severance?
Last
Watch this
bit.
week.
Okay. Yes. And I think I said this last week that I knew
this
that
was a great
Ben
episode.
Stiller and Adam Scott have that podcast.
Yes.
So that's been a really good supplementary source for me to get
Throughout
some
the
extra.
week. Yeah.
This episode, why am I even looking at the camera?
I know. I keep doing it too.
This episode has been,
it's the best episode yet.
It was also,
I don't even know how they
so-
got so much information. Also, I learned how
beautifully
much
shot.
I think they spend, was it $18,000 per episode or more than that? Wait, 1 million. Sorry.
I was going to say 18,000
No,
doesn't seem like a
that's
lot.
not a lot at all. It's, I can't remember. You can look it up. They've said it, but I've realized, like, especially this last episode, this was a movie. You know when people are like, my life's like a movie.
It was cinema.
It was
Cinematography.
it was so good, and I couldn't even believe it how good it was.
If you haven't watched it, I do want to tell you that there have been a lot of Adam Scott thirst traps that have been coming from this one.
Because it's his younger hot version. Like they're like, he's got a spray tan and he's
got a
clean
haircut
shaven.
for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Because the man, his innie and his outie needs a hairdo, but in this,
his Audi. Ooh,
he
looks like coconut head. His innie and outie normally, but like he looks svelte.
This is when his wife Gemma was still like
When they met, it was like a throwback,
right? And they were still very much in each other's lives, like they were married, and so she probably was like, "You need to get going to great clips,
yeah,
because you can't see your ears no more." And now he doesn't have that.
Yeah, now he looks like coconut head. But yeah, he do be looking good. Adam Scott do be looking good in this last episode, but it answered a lot of questions for me, based on Gemma, as far as like, where are they now?
Also, the actor who plays Gemma.
Oh, she really got to act finally,
and she
did that.
She was from an like one of her breakthrough roles was a Australian soap opera actress, and guess where she was born? Kathmandu.
Kathmandu.
I'm like, I've never met anyone.
She was born in Kathmandu.
I think that's in Nepal, but yeah.
Oh, just kidding.
But
well,
but
I just wanted to,
she I think she's got like an Australian accent because I think she grew
so she
up
probably
in Australia.
says it like Kathmandu.
She does.
Kathmandu.
You need to listen to that episode of the potty.
I do. Oh my god, I love Severance, guys. It's just like it's giving me a new zest for life.
I do also just want to say that there's the relationship between John Irving's character.
Yes.
John Torino.
I don't know. He's a beautiful man too.
That man, I can't. He's gonna be so mad at me because I didn't say his last name right. And
it's okay.
And Britt Fowler. Lower.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
gosh.
what?
Britt and
I think
John,
it's also pronounced, because I thought it was Britt Lower too. I think it's Lauer.
it is like flowers. That's what she said. It is
Okay.
Lauer. But anyway, they have like such a nice, sweet, real friendship that you
They
see in
do.
all their interviews, and it really
Oh my gosh,
makes you
yes.
feel some type
I
of
saw the
way.
one about her like punching him. He was like, punch me.
And he did this. They were doing like some sort of a panel interview, and he comes up to her, and he's kind of like looking off into the distance, but he still reaches for her cheek and gives her like a little cheek pet, like you would like a kid.
Yeah.
He probably sees her that way. Anyway, so sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, Severance. If you're
Still
not
obsessed.
if you're not with it, get with it.
Yeah, if you're not watching it, get Apple TV
Please.
just for Severance. Like, it's so good.
And if you don't, if you're like, I don't want to support Apple, I get it. But like, can you find it on the dark web?
Also,
I need to talk to people about it.
I'm still watching the show that I famously called The Last of Us, and This Is Us, and This Is All of Us.
More.
But it's actually called The Leftovers, and I'm about halfway through season 2. I know this show is well over 10 years old. It's one of those shows I think everybody should watch it because it is just it's giving me like the feeling of Severance, except it's a little bit more realistic and scary. And I don't want to say scary, but I don't know how to say it. But it deals with themes with the rapture, so it kind of feels like very like real. Like, it's less real than like I think it's more real that it would happen to me than Severance would, because I would never choose Severance. However, I just want to say it's so good, and if you're not watching it, you should watch it. You should invest.
Watch it.
Also watch The Last Show Girl. Also watch The Substance Support Women in Film.
Watch us.
Watch us.
Find us on YouTube.
Oh yes, please subscribe.
Please subscribe, hit
rate,
the notification
review.
button on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please, let me tell you something. If there's one thing you can do for me and for Haley that would positively impact the growth of this podcast, I'm being so for real right now.
Yeah.
It would be to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to reach a certain number of YouTube subscribers, and it would be so meaningful if you could please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please rate, review, subscribe.
And it's so easy. It's
share,
like you don't have to spend money.
Share this Cray Cray pod with all your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend to please tell a friend about Personality Hire Podcast with Haley Sportout and Jesse Ford Bacon and producer Bryce France, the world's best photographer.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, Janine, take us home, sis.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
Oh yeah, sorry. See you then. Happy birthday, Groot. Janine, take us home, sis.